Alright, Agent, thanks for joining me in the pack. I have some good news that I want to share with you. So as part of the series that I've been recently been doing on my channel, which is basically trying new builds and new gear sets as possible to mid-match them before the update 1.6.1 drops sometimes this month. I believe this is the second part of the series that I'm going to be bringing to you guys, and it's something that I've never tried before, and I wanted to give it a try and see how it goes. So this is going to be the DeadEye build that I've been working on since last week. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave it like, thumbs up, and don't feel free to leave a comment in the section down below. This is really exciting for me because it is a DeadEye build, and I've never tried it before, and I know how much you guys hate the DeadEye build. So it all began, and to begin with anything, I want to have a pretty decent build before the update 1.6.1 drops, because I think there's gonna be bringing the loadout, which is basically gonna allow agents to put together builds and switch them on the fly out of combat. You cannot switch them within combat, but it's going to be out of combat. If you like me to explain loadouts and how it works, leave a comment in the section below and I will do my best to explain it. So let's jump into what I have for you today. Today I want to be showing you my DeadEye build that I've been working on throughout the whole week. Without wasting too much time, let's jump right into it, and we're going to start with the chest piece. The chest piece is going to be a DeadEye chest piece roll into armor, and I roll this into armor because I want to do a shit ton of damage as I can. This build is basically geared towards playing the PvE section of the game, and I have not tried it in the PvP aspect of it. If you want to see any PvP aspect of it, just leave a comment in the section down below and I will do my best to explain it. We all know since update 1.6, armor has lost its value, and people seeing health to be equivalent to stamina. So most people don't have armor, or there's not enough places where you can get armor apart from the armor that comes enrolled on your gear. And my DeadEye came at 1973 armor, and I rolled firearms onto it. I have 17 and 80 firearms because I'm using mods. Basically you want to aim somewhere above 1270. I think the highest that you can roll on it is 1272. And on my DeadEye chest piece, I have rolled exotic damage resilience on this guy. You want exotic damage resilience with a DeadEye build because you will be dealing shit ton of damage in any combat, because you'll be using your scope a lot. And I would have wished to have armor capacity, but mine came with increased kill speed, and I also have health on kill. Health on kill is pretty sweet, because as you kill your NPCs, you get a lot of you get health back. And if you don't know the DeadEye build, if you have two pieces put together, you have initial bullet stability, and the third piece will give you marksman rifle critical hit damage of 20%, and when zoom into the marksman rifle, you get 100% crit chance. That is why I was saying that you're going to be zooming into your scope a lot. And as far as mod goes, I have skill haste mods, which is basically firearms skill haste mods. I wanna have skill haste because haste is really important for this game as this game stands right now, because you are not able to heal yourself. And if you want to heal yourself as you used to heal yourself in the update 1.5, then you want to be speccing into skill power, or you have a lot of skill haste, and that was at the back of my mind when I was creating this build. I carefully chose every aspect of it to fit and to be able to synergize well to the style of play, maintaining crazy amount of DPS to NPCs. And I can't I can't stress enough to you guys that this build do really well in the legendary mode. And if you want to be playing incursions, feel free, because you'll be doing a shit ton of ammo, a shit ton of damage. My bad, a shit ton of damage. And I wanted to say that these NPCs, after they scale down armor, they couldn't scale down NPC ammo, so it makes the legendary mode so fucking difficult, and you want to have a lot of ammo. So if there was anything that I wanted to roll onto this chest piece, or in the future if I should get any chest piece like this one, I want to have ammo capacity on it. I'm not using this one, but I would love to have ammo capacity on my chest piece. This one to roll into firearms and health. Um, Let me see. But I love the exotic damage resilience, because you will be dealing a lot of damage. You will be dealing a lot of damage, and you want to be able to have a little bit of resilience to it. So for this build, I chose 4 tactician. I chose 2 tactician for skill haste, and I chose 4 DeadEye build, because this is basically geared towards DeadEye. And without wasting too much time, let's talk about the mask. The mask that I'm using is going to be Tactician's Authority mask, which is basically has an ammo value of 990, which is basically roll into firearms and also have exotic damage resilience on it. I was debating a lot if I wanted to change exotic damage resilience to skill power, and I believe you can roll up to 1300 skill power, and the skill power to electronics ratio is 1 electronics is equal to, I think, 50 points of skill power. So it will increase your electronics as well as skill power, and it will give you a decent amount of healing. But I chose exotic damage resilience because of the damage that you'll be dealing if you're using the DeadEye build. And I don't want to stress enough that, guys, 15% of skill haste that you get using the 2 pieces of Tactician Authority is an integral part of this build. And as mods goes, I'm using basically skill haste, stamina, and skill haste mod on my mods. Let's go and talk about the knee pads. The knee pads is going to be a DeadEye knee pad, and this one came with 1636 armor, and I have it rolled into stamina because I want to have a little bit of toughness and stamina in the game, and I don't want to be dying every now and then, because I'm not going to be using med kits in this build. I'm going to be using a different source of healing. And talking about the major attributes, I have 8% critical hit damage roll on this. I would really prefer to have a build where I have burn resistance, but I'm not too lucky to have burn resistance as a minor attribute. But if you should find any knee pads with burn resistance on it, and they're basically going to come about 30%, guys, you should run with it. It will be the best one that you can ever have. And let's move on to the backpack. The backpack is where all the magic happens, guys. I'm just saying, where all the magic happens. But basically, my came with roll with 1326 armor. It's a really pretty decent roll. And I roll into firearms on this one. I have critical hit damage on my backpack, and guys, you want to stay away from critical hit chance, because once you zoom into your scope in your marksman rifle, you'll be doing 100% critical hit chance. So you don't want to roll anything into critical hit chance. All your mods, you want to be able to have a little bit of critical hit damage and roll as much as you can. Mine came with 14% disrupt resistance, and As usual, I put skill haste mod with firearms on this backpack, and I put first aid self healed because I'll be healing myself a lot. So I have 6% first aid self healed, and I have 5.5% first aid self healed. I have 58 backpack capacity. I believe that in the update 1.6.1, backpack capacity is going to be increased to 150, so that we can take advantage of their loadouts. If you want me to explain, just leave a comment in the section below. And I've been playing the PTS a lot, and I know how it's going, so I'll be able to do justice to it. In terms of gloves, you want to be looking for maximum rifle damage as a major attribute. Mine came with 991 armor, and I roll into firearms. I currently have 1271 firearms on it. I basically wanted to change the pistol damage to any secondary gun that you're using, and in this case would have been assault rifle, but mine came with pistol damage on it, and I have 8% skill haste. Skill haste is one of the sweet spot in the game right now, I believe, and you should jump on it if you have skill haste. Because if you want to be using something like adapt, which is basically going to increase your critical hit chance. I don't need adapt in this game, but like if you want to use adapt a lot, it has a really shorter cooldowns, I believe. So you can basically get like critical. I believe you can stack it up to like 5 times or so before you let it cool down. So it's something that you want to use skill haste in your builds, and I believe it's really interesting. There's nothing too special about any holster in this game. Second piece of tactician authority, so that I can harness the 15% skill haste that comes with the tactician authority, and I have it rolled into stamina because I had firearms pretty much 1264, and you want to have at least 1100 points in terms of firearms or stamina or electronics on your holster, and I would have really preferred electronics to be up, but I wasn't too lucky to have electronics to be above 1200. So mine came with 20.5% reload speed, and reload speed is really important in this game because if you want to be sitting around trying to reload, and I don't want to stress too much about it because I made a comment about it in my other video that you can check up in somewhere up in the corner of this video. But reload speed is really important. But how do we synergize everything? And that is where this build shines, guys. Let me take you through the gun that I'm using. You want to be using any marksman rifle of your choice, but you want to be using semi-auto or auto marksman rifle, and you want to have a marksman rifle with a good amount of ammo, or like a good amount of ammo that let's say the magazine can hold a lot of ammo. Let me put it that way. So if you look at this police M4, the mods that I have on it is a loud vent break, because I want to use especially critical hit damage. I want to do a lot of critical hit damage with that. I have the small grip for critical hit damage 18%. If you can find any marksman, if you can find any extended magazine with critical hit damage and something like reload speed or rate of fire, that would be another good alternative, but I haven't been able to come across any. So I'm using critical hit damage and critical hit chance. I know it's a dead stat, but this is all that I have right now, and it's still a work in progress. So as time goes on, it's going to be improved. I'm using the C79 scope 3.4, and this scope has a really crazy turning radius whenever you zoom in. So I can't show it over here, but I'll go over there and show you how this whole build works. So whenever you zoom in into your scope, it's so hard to turn. The turning radius is so hard, but as I was saying, you want to roll into crazy amount of critical hit damage, and this is a really crazy scope with crazy critical hit damage on it. I know I'm saying a lot of crazy, but I mean, it's only the part, it's only one of the scopes that you can get. You can get enough critical hit damage on it. My secondary gun that I'm using is an assault rifle. I'm using a lightweight M4. It has a pretty decent RPM, and I really love the lightweight M4. You also can use a bullfrog. I believe if you use a bullfrog, but the recoil is really bad. I really love the bullfrog, and I believe it's one of the best assault rifle apart from the MDR. I think the bullfrog is one of the best assault rifles. But in this case, I'm using the lightweight M4, and this is geared towards headshot damage because of a talent that I'll be showing you in the future. I have roll on it. I'm using the Omega rifle suppressor. I'm using the small grip for critical hit damage. I'm using the standard magazine with reload speed and rate of fire, and I'm using the VX1 scope for headshot damage and critical hit chance and critical hit damage on the assault rifle. So let me take you into the abilities and talents and skills that I'm using that makes this build shine. So what makes this build synergize well is because I'm using good skills and abilities, and you guys want to be using these kind of skills because it's the only way that you can get enough from your DeadEye piece. So I'll also in the future want to do another build, and it's a working process, and I'm currently working on another DeadEye build where I want to use probably Tenacious Max or a Nimble holster, but I can't stress on it too much, guys, that I've done the math and figured out that you can use booster shot and technical scanner, and it does a lot of damage. So this is the technical scanner, and you can use a booster shot. Booster shot will temporarily increase your damage and damage resistance for from NPCs, and if you use the tactical scanner, you're gonna be increasing your critical hit damage and critical hit chance. I know you don't need critical hit chance, but critical hit damage is really important. So in any combat, if I pop up my booster shot, oh sorry guys, if I pop up my booster shot and I pop up my tactical scanner, my pose, I will do a lot of damage, and it synergizes well with the talents that I use. And let me take you through the talents that I use. This, and I don't want to stress on it too much, that this build is not a build that you want to be running around trying to do all the incursions by yourself. It works well if you have somebody who is a healer in your group, and because you will be using your pulse and your booster shot, you don't want you'll be a little bit squishy. You don't have too much skill power to be able to heal yourself for your health to heal. To heal chunks of your health. So you want to be running with somebody who will be a healer in your build, probably using medkit or something like that. And let me take you through the talents that I'm using right now. I'm currently using Strike Back, and I'm using Strike Back because you will be dealing a lot of damage, and whenever you reach low health, you want your skills cooldown to be faster as possible, and Strike Back is going to take 20% cooldown reduction, guys. And this is amazing. This is amazing talent that you should be using if you're running any kind of DeadEye build, because of this kind when you are trying to use more pulse and booster shots. And I'm also using on the move. On the move is going to do is that it's going to reduce incoming damage by 15% for 15 seconds when you kill any NPC. So in any combat, if you kill any NPC who was about to kill you while you propped up your skill, because your strike back was activated, because it was cooled down faster. It was cooled down faster because the cooldown was reduced by 20%. You will be able to do a lot of damage. You will be able to come back on your feet and headshot an NPC where you can activate your precision talent, which will basically pause that NPC. And pause is the integral part of this build, guys. Pause, I cannot stress on it too much. Pause is really integral part of this build guide. So if you're using precision and you kill an NPC by headshot, you pause them for 10 seconds. So if you pause the dead NPC, you basically increasing your critical hit damage. And if you increase your critical hit damage, you are able to do a lot of damage. And I'm also using one is none, and I believe this is a really good talent. If you headshot any NPC, you get 50% chance of not consuming a bullet. I believe this build is going to be one of the best. I don't know what you guys are running, but I spent too much time and I've done the math, and I've seen that this build is going to work pretty good. If you want to give it a try, it's going to be a really good build in any incursion or legendary mode. And this guide was also thoroughly planned to have a good synergy with all these talents and everything. And let's go into the base of operations and show you something real quick. About what I'm trying to show you guys about how to use your tactical scanner, your pose, and how to use all these talents to really synergize well. And let me take you over there real quick. I know how much so many guys are trying to say that DeadEye should be nerfed, but I believe that it makes the game versatile for people to try different kind of builds, and it's one of the builds in the hands of a really good player is really good. So if you're using a DeadEye build and like your marksman rifle and you zoom in, you always do crit. See, I'm always doing crit, assisting like crit. If I don't zoom in all the way, I don't do crit all the time. But once I zoom in, I do crit. To the headshot, it's just going to be, and because of precision, see, my crit went up. And once you hit it up and you come down and you hit it, it's going to be the same. Once you kill the NPC, precision has been activated. See, and in any combat, if you pause and you hit, see, and you add your booster shot, your damage goes up. See, my damage is all the way up, and you'll be doing a lot of damage to NPCs in this game. So I believe this guide is going to help you guys to give it a try and see how the DeadEye goes. If you want to see any DeadEye build gears toward PvP, leave a comment in the section below, and don't forget that I'm going to leave a video at the end, a video where I showcase how this DeadEye build works at the end of this video. I know this video is getting real longer. Feel free to leave any comments in the section below, and thanks for your support. And if you like any of my division contents in your life, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel, because I'll be bringing you ton shit of good news and good gameplay. Thanks for watching this video, and try this DeadEye build and see how it goes. Thanks, and as usual, peace.